Hi everyone and welcome to Dream Space TV here in One Microsoft Place in Dublin. It's finally competition time. Woohoo! Woo, we're so excited. Okay, but before we talk about the competition, we need to recap on our last episode. Because in our last episode, we learned all about coding and we were introduced to our agent in Minecraft Education Edition.
Yes, and we love coding. I'm sure you know that at this stage in Dream Space. Yeah. We love to code, so we hope that you loved it too and you had so much fun. So as Corey said, it is competition time. So we're delighted that today we get to finally unveil our national competition in association with RTE Junior and the Minecraft Education team. But before we delve into doing the competition, we should probably kind of have a recap over the last 5 episodes and just make sure we know what we've learned so that when we see the competition, we realize, do you know what, we're going to be well able to do that. So will we do a little recap?
Yep, yeah, I think so.
So before we do ours, we think now would be a good time to pause and think about all the things that you've learnt about Minecraft Education Edition.
Okay, so let's jot down a few of the things that we have learnt, okay? Hopefully don't forget anything, but there was a lot. So here I have Minecraft Education Edition, MEE for short, in my little bubble.
Yeah.
So first thing we learnt.
Well, we've learned just about Minecraft Education Edition, so we could just say like worlds, I suppose, moving. We looked at our inventory, lots of things. So this is the basic skills, I would say, maybe, Corey. I'm sure people will understand, etc.
Etc. Yeah, so we learned how to fly as well, didn't we?
Lots of things, yeah.
Loads.
Yeah.
And then I suppose we learned about our build commands.
Yes.
Okay, so...
Well, commands in general, you could just say. So there was more, if you remember, we had build as a command. We had like our weather.
Yes.
Our weather.
We had our set spawn position.
Yes. What else did we do?
Oh, we done always day, because remember, it kept getting dark.
Yeah.
We were like, no, we weren't having
lots of commands. I'm sure again we were forgetting them.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh, there was one, remember?
What?
The /game rule.
Oh,
coordinates, and then we turned it to true.
The coordinates was very important.
Very important. Like.
Yes. Okay.
Actually, put that down.
Coordinates. Yeah, definitely. The other thing then that we definitely looked at a lot was like how to use our multiplayer. Yes. Now, not everyone, again, might not have been able to use that, so that's okay if you couldn't. But if you could, you would have seen kind of the benefit of using the multiplayer approach in some ways, which was great.
Multiplayer.
Yeah.
I used to love when I'd go into the world and Amanda would be there and I'd be like, hey, hey. That was fun.
Yeah, exactly. Working around with each other. And I think that's kind of like the kind of main gist of things. I suppose we, like, in terms of what Minecraft can do, but outside of that then we looked at a lot of subject areas, and maybe you might not have even realized this, but there were different subject areas like English, for example. There's one little hint example. So now is a good time to pause and think about what subjects did we cover across our last 5 episodes. Okay, Corey, so subjects-wise, like for example, I mentioned English there. Yeah. So across lots of the episodes, we used like our NPCs, our signs, our posters.
Book and quill.
Book and quill. So we had to use our English skills to tell a story and kind of put like compositions together.
Exactly.
So hopefully you've noticed that and you've got to work on that. Any other ones?
Maths.
Definitely.
Huge one. Sure, we learned how to do a map to scale in maths. We learned about ratios. We're always counting blocks.
Yeah.
Even remember we were doing the street art.
Yes.
We had to like see how many blocks we had in the chest, and then we had to like figure out, okay, do we even have enough to do this street art?
Coordinates.
Coordinates.
Yeah, our X, Y, Z.
X, Y, Z.
Yeah, absolutely. We also looked at science.
Of course we did.
Yeah, so across lots of different things we talked about for science really, but the one that sticks out probably is the one when we learned about space.
Yeah.
So we looked at the planets, we looked at Mars, we built our own rover, so that was great fun.
That was so much fun, honestly.
Yeah.
History.
Yes.
History, episode 4, wow.
Lots learned.
Yeah.
About civil rights movements, and we went back in time to visit some. We looked at some in the present as well.
Very inspiring.
Really inspiring, yeah. And then geography too.
Yes.
We talked about things like weather.
Yes.
You know, coordinates, direction.
Yeah. Cold climates.
Cold climates, yeah. And then we also looked at computer science.
Yes,
because we were coding. So a lot covered with subject areas. So then one final one for you to think about in your classroom now. So we've talked about what we've done in Minecraft education. We've looked at what we've done around subject areas. So the final one is to think about what skills, okay? So now's a good time to pause, and what skills have you used across the last 5 episodes? Right, so we said what skills, Corey. So we'll do another little mind map here.
I love a mind map.
I know, me too. So we're gonna say skills. Do you wanna start us off?
Okay, so definitely when I just think of us two anyway, the collaboration,
Yes.
the team working. Because
Yes.
we're in multiplayer a lot, so team working definitely.
So collaboration, and yeah, exactly, as you just said there, Corey, if people aren't sure of the word, if they've never heard the word collaboration before, it's literally just teamwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, definitely. Also, we used a lot of creativity.
A lot.
We had to use our imaginations. We had to be innovative,
Yep.
didn't we? Think of new ideas. So we were definitely really creative.
We also had to communicate quite a lot because we were in the same worlds, but we wanted to take on different tasks, remember?
Yeah.
So we were dividing and conquering, and we had to communicate to get that across to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then the other thing we had to do a lot was solve problems, because things didn't always work. You know, sometimes we were doing things and we were like, okay, why hasn't that worked? And we had to figure out why and put it into action. So I might just say problem solving. What else?
I suppose a lot of resilience.
Yeah,
Because
can you explain what that means? to
yeah,
everyone?
well, we never gave up really. You know, like at the start when I was just doing like my fence in episode 1 and even my house, it took me so long because I wasn't used to having to right click to place and left click to destroy and all stuff like that. But I just didn't give up. And by episode 5, I was golden.
Yeah.
I was much better at it.
Absolutely. And we also had to like use our coding skills. And when I mean coding, maybe you'd say that's not skill, but I mean like the logical thinking that we had to use. So we had to be very logical about how we approach things, not just in the coding episode, but even when we were planning our scale map, we had to use logic a lot of the time. So we'll say logical thinking there for that one.
And then I suppose the last one is probably like our building skills, or how would you?
Probably, I know this is a very big fancy term, but like spatial awareness or our 3D modeling.
Yeah.
You know, being aware of like how things look at different angles and stuff like that. So I'll say spatial skills, but we won't don't have to worry about that word too much, but that's what it kind of means.
And if you remember in episode 1, remember you asked me like, what do you love most about Minecraft Education Edition? And I said that we could actually build, so we could see the 3D shapes and stuff. So that was the one thing that I loved most about it.
So lots of skills. So we've covered now what we've done in Minecraft education, what we've done across subject areas, and our skills. And if we bring all of these together, we're very confident that you are going to be all set for your competition. Okay. So we unveil the competition. Well, I'll let you unveil it.
Go on, I'll unveil it.
I'll set it up here for you.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Are you going to give me a drum roll though?
Oh, absolutely.
Amanda's learning to play the drums, so this will be good practice for her.
I am learning to play the drums. That is true.
Okay. Count me in.
3, 2, 1.
Drum roll. Our competition is Ireland's future is mine.
Wow.
Mine for Minecraft, obviously. So what exactly do we want everyone to do? Okay, well, we want you to build a more sustainable version of your local area or town using Minecraft Education Edition. Okay, so what could we consider to be more sustainable? Well, I suppose you could build recycling plants or redesign your school, public parks, spaces,
transportation. The list goes on, really.
List goes on and on.
Yeah. So we've mentioned sustainability a couple of times there. So now will be a good time to pause and think about what is sustainability. So sustainability is when we're resourceful with the things we have. So we don't overuse our natural resources or we don't waste them. And that means that hopefully we shouldn't run out of them as we go into the future. And there's lots of ways to be sustainable. One example would have been in episode 1 when we made our sustainable garden. So we were able to grow our own vegetables, for example. And I'm sure when you're having conversations about this in your classroom, you'll think of lots of other ways as well, and that you can include them into your competition entry. But Corey, once everyone has kind of read through this and had a discussion about that, what should they do next?
Okay, like always, Amanda, we are going to have to Plan, do, review. Okay, we've heard this so many times now throughout all the episodes. Now, the planning stage here is going to be extremely important, okay? You're going to have to go off and research your local area. So what does it currently have? What might it need? Okay,
Yeah.
so that stage is going to be really important,
And
isn't
how
it?
can you make it more sustainable?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, the next part, do. Okay, so this is obviously going to be your build, but this isn't just your normal episode build challenge, okay? You're not just going to build one thing, you're building an entire local area. So, you know, it might be a good idea to collaborate with the students in your classroom and actually divide and conquer on this maybe.
Yeah, you might decide, one person's going to do one section
Yeah.
and one group, another group's going to do another section. Your teacher, no doubt, will work alongside you on that. But the doing is going to maybe be so much that you will probably have to kind of work effectively as a team to get that done.
Yeah, exactly. And then finally, we review. But it's important to review your project as you're going, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Once you have all of this done, plan, do, and you finally reviewed it, you're going to be ready for your competition entry. Okay, so Amanda, do you want to go through the competition guidelines?
Yeah, I will. So let's have a look at the competition guidelines. Now, there's a couple of things we want you to keep in mind. You're going to, as Corey said, get to the point where you've reviewed it so much that as a school or as a classroom, you're going to be like, this is brilliant, we're really happy with this. But how do you get this across to our judges? Because we are going to have a judging panel to look at what you've done. So what we want you to do is in the website that we've passed on to your teachers, we want you to submit a video. Now this video needs to be a maximum of 3 minutes, so please make sure not to go over the 3 minutes. And that might seem like a hard ask, but if you think logically and carefully about how you could set up the video, we have every confidence that you can get this done, okay? Make sure in your video to kind of clearly explain things to us. You might use text to do that, you might use audio, like you might speak, and we're going to leave that to you to figure out. We really want you to make sure that you research. Corey mentioned this as part of your planning stage. So be able to show us kind of, as you're going around, maybe there'll be ways that signs will have said, this didn't used to exist in our local area. We've added this in from a sustainability point of view. So you're showing us that how you've looked at something that's there right now in the present and how you've evolved that for the future. Because remember, the whole idea is Ireland's future is mine, okay? Make sure to collaborate. We talked about that. That's going to be pretty important. Be as creative and innovative as possible. And so what we mean by that is to really use your imaginations and really push the boundaries of these things. People would have thought that if you said to your grandparents or someone, you might have said in 20 years time this will happen, they'd think no, it won't. But already we've seen how technology, for example, has changed so many things and people are shocked by it. So always imagine and push the boundaries of those things. And innovation, what we mean by that is that they're new ideas. So you're not just copying something that you've seen. And then finally, do make sure to show us evidence of the things you've learned across the episodes, like your build commands, to showcase how you've done the buildings, and coding, and different things like that. Now, we are going to share a marking scheme with your teachers so that they know what the judges are looking for. So I'll give you, here's a little sneak peek.
Give them a little sneak peek.
I hope the judges don't mind. So we're going to hop in here and see. Okay, so don't tell anyone, don't tell the judges that we showed you this. But if we have a look here, you can see there's categories that the judges are looking for. How the video's been presented. Is there research, collaboration, creativity, building, coding. And it all adds up to 100 marks. And if you look carefully, you can see we have a red, amber and green category on our marking scheme. So you want to make sure as much as possible you avoid this end, the red end, because that means you're going to have less marks. So you want to go further to this end, the green end. So for example, Corey, if we look at the kind of coding section here, you'll see it says if it's green, coding shown for specific areas and there was included greater than 4 commands. So remember in the last episode?
The blue blocks where we had like walk or agent. Or
the chat commands, exactly. So more than 4 have been shown. But if it was red, it would be like little or no coding evident. So to try and achieve the maximum marks, you can work alongside your teacher and this, okay? But don't tell the judges, as I said, to try and make sure that the judges go, wow, this is exactly what we were looking for. How do they know? Okay? Now, in terms of your video, let me just point out, I said like no more than 3 minutes, and that might seem hard. Your video doesn't have to be you walking around your world that you've built as a class, just that on its own.
Yeah.
You can mix it up. You can have a little tour, like a little short tour. Then your teacher might show other evidence like
photos.
Photos of group work or
Yep.
photos of plans that were drawn, things like that. There's lots of ways to story tell this. So again, be creative with that and be confident about your entry, and hopefully you're going to do great.
Okay, so you've given us a few kind of guidelines and tips, I suppose. But now I think we should get some tips from the top. What do you think?
Great idea.
Okay, because earlier on we caught up with Susie from the Minecraft Education Edition team, and she told us some tips that she would give some students who are taking on this challenge.
Hi, Susie. How are you?
Susie.
Nice to chat with you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Do you want to introduce yourself maybe to everyone?
Yeah, so my name's Susie Tinker, and I work on the Minecraft Education Edition team, which is part of the larger Minecraft team at Microsoft. And I get to work with schools and teachers and students all over the world to help them learn how to use Minecraft education as a learning tool in the classroom.
Brilliant, cool. So we want to talk to you about this cool competition that we're running in Ireland. And our competition is called Ireland's Future is Mine. And we were wondering why you think Minecraft is going to be a really useful tool for this competition.
Oh my gosh, yes. So Minecraft offers an amazing opportunity to simulate real world problems and solutions, and having students create a more sustainable version of their community is going to be so powerful. And all students one day will be the leaders in your communities. So it's important that you have a voice and a say in what you want your future of your community to look like.
Cool.
That sounds amazing, Susie. So you've obviously done lots of Minecraft Education Edition competitions, and before the students start their projects, we told them to maybe go off and research and make a plan. So what tips and tricks would you give them for this phase?
Yeah, definitely plan out your build beforehand. We love pencil and paper. I think any good Minecraft project has really solid pre-planning to keep you focused and on task.
Yeah, definitely. I know in the episodes ourselves, people are probably used to seeing us go off and sketch. The episode where actually I had to build my Mars rover, I had to draw that out beforehand. There was no way I could have done that at all. Okay, so also, Susie, like apart from obviously what the students are going to be doing, like these skills are really useful in general. Like when you in the Minecraft Education Edition team have to work on different projects and things, what skills do you guys use the most? If you give us some insights into what you do.
Yeah, I think teamwork, open communication, collaboration is all super important. We all have our unique strengths, and we understand what those strengths are so we can utilize them, and we trust each other. We know that everyone will support one another and ensure that our projects and all the programs that we're working on are all going to be successful.
Deadly.
Brilliant. So I suppose when you have judged previous competitions, what has stood out for you the most?
Yeah, wow. Not only are the builds just absolutely incredible, but the videos and voiceovers really bring the projects to life. The way that the teams can plan and think creatively to make sure that their video really shows off what they have learned always stands out. So try and think innovatively and about how not to just do that with your build, but with your video as well.
That's actually a really good tip. And I never even kind of thought about that, because I think some people probably would really focus in on just build and like nearly leave the presentation to the last minute, but it's going to need some prep and some practice and things as well. So thanks for that one. That's good. And is there any other then last minute, because we're gonna set this challenge out now to all the pupils in Ireland to take part. Is there any last minute tips or tricks you would give them?
Yeah, have fun. This is such a fun opportunity to get to work as a team and build something really meaningful for your communities. So have fun working on your projects, and we can't wait to see them.
Woohoo! Yes, we can't wait to see them either. Thank you so much for joining us and taking time out of your busy schedule. Thanks so much, and hopefully we'll chat to you soon and you'll get to see all the amazing things that come out of Ireland.
Yeah, good luck. Happy building.
Bye, Susie.
Bye.
Okay, so Susie is actually like the coolest person I've ever met, I think.
Oh, well.
Sorry. Amanda got a bit upset there. Sorry, Amanda, you're the coolest person I've ever met. And then Susie.
No, she's pretty cool. I don't mind.
She's awesome. And one thing I took from what Susie was telling us there was that when she was actually marking like other competitions, she would focus not just on the build, I suppose, but the thought that went behind the build.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so we've given you hopefully plenty of tips and tricks there. So all that's left to say is best of luck. We really hope that you have a lot of fun, but mainly a lot of learning as you go on now to take on the Ireland's Future is Mine challenge. Make sure to keep us posted on how you're getting on in your classrooms because we will love to see all that.
Love it.
I think that's it. Best of luck.
That's it.
See you.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.